Kia ora, I'm Erin J. Doyle. Welcome to my channel and day 3 of Nano. It is 10:15. My camera is set up at an angle that I wasn't aware of before I started filming, and I'm only just sitting down to breakfast. I have gone for a walk and had a shower and done some housework, so I've been doing things. But yes, a little behind schedule. Never mind. I've just written for 2 hours. I have written 2,503 words, bringing my total to 2,468. Not too bad. I mean, kind of where I wanted to be early this morning, not midday today, but you know, fine. So in accordance with my original plan, I was going to write 4 chapters on day 1 and 2 and then 3 chapters today, but that immediately went out the window because some of my chapters are really small and I'm definitely underwriting some sections, so I'm all the way to chapter 11, which is now so long it's probably going to become 2 chapters, but officially I'm at chapter 11, which means, according to my original schedule, I have completed all of the work I had planned to get done by the end of today. If we go by chapter, that same calculation would have suggested that I would have been at around 30,000 words by the end of the day. So I'm kind of either dramatically behind or very much ahead, depending on whether you want to look at it at chapter count or word count. Obviously word count's the more practical because, as we have now seen, I am underwriting. On the upside, I'm getting to know my characters a little bit better. I've created a brand new character who currently has no name, but I'm definitely learning about him. I still feel like one of my 2 key protagonists is kind of like a cardboard cutout person, like they barely exist, which is really frustrating because they're supposed to be the most important character and they're just kind of a lens that I'm looking at my entire story through. To the point where one of the secondary characters is being far more influential and important and well-rounded and ruddy, and it's like, do I just delete this original main character and make the secondary character the big deal character? That wouldn't actually work. So I need to do a lot more on making this character really... It's almost like the narrative is starting to remind me of The Great Gatsby, where the most important characters are not the narrator. Like, the narrator is the guy that lives next door to the character that actually matters in the whole scheme of things. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like, the person that was meant... he's not the narrator, but he's a prospective character that was meant to be really, really important is becoming less and less important and just kind of stepping back from the story, and I'm trying to not do that, but it seems to be the way of it. I think this is something that I do fairly common, like I tend to have critique partners and beta readers commenting that the main character is like they say they don't know anything about the main character and they don't have a connection to it, but then they're like super duper excited for my secondary characters. This is a dilemma for me and a very big problem. Like, I think it's probably a long-term thing that I need to address, and I thought whilst working on my Camino story that I had addressed it, but the main character in the Camino story is traveling alone and processing stuff, so there's a lot of introspection and I have a lot of self-talk, which I know a whole bunch of people are like over, but in the context and structure of the story it makes sense. I don't have that in this story, and oh look, I've backslid to the previous way of doing things, so I think yeah, I've identified a weakness that I'm going to have to work on, which I don't think I can work on specifically in Nano and fix just in this project. I think it's going to be a longer running thing as I try and figure out how to make you give a damn and notice the existence of the narrating, the main character, without using introspection. And I guess I just have to have them doing more stuff, but they don't have anything to do in these scenes. One possible thing I could do is introduce a third perspective character. In that way, this secondary character who's becoming super important and interesting could become a perspective character. I don't know, I feel like I have to think about it. What I have also done this morning is write a scene where the characters have a picnic and there's donuts and our glazed donuts specifically. I think I've just talked about donuts for like 5 minutes, so yep, lunchtime. Something has gone wrong. Like, why are you betraying me, maths? Equals. Okay, so it's 4:30. My total word count is now 23,225. So in the last 2 hours I've written 2,757, which I believe is above, yes, slightly above my target word count for 2 hours, so that's great. And means that I've written 5,260 words today. So I have again found my attention flagging a little bit, and I had this realization that human attention span is not 2 hours. It's actually around 45 minutes, I think, from memory. I could be slightly off on the exact number. Like, it's a thing that they talk about in academia a lot, like the 1 to 2 hour lecture slots are actually significantly longer than a human can be expected to concentrate for. So I'm like, maybe instead of doing a 2 hour block, I should be doing like a 40-minute block, short break, 40-minute block. Not a 20-minute break, but like, say 40 minutes and then a 5 to 10 minute break and then another 40 minutes or something like that. So I might have a play with that tomorrow. I don't want to try that at this end of the day. Well, I guess I'm lying. That's exactly what I've just tried. So I wrote for 45 minutes and then I had a 10-minute break when I realised I wasn't concentrating anymore. And I wrote for 45 minutes and I was still good to go and could have kept writing when my alarm went off. So that's why I'm thinking tomorrow I'll give it a proper go, maybe. Even if I don't hit my 10k today, which I think is an extremely optimistic desire if I also want to edit this video, so that's not going to happen, but I definitely want to exceed 25,000 so that I've hit my halfway point on my word count for Nano in 3 days. I think that's very doable. And if we go to my NaNoWriMo stats page, I have exceeded the words needed today in order to complete Nano under the usual criteria by 460%. Having reached chapter 12, I'm now beyond the, oh my god, this is a lot of protocols about space stuff that I don't know section of the story, and I'm more into the like happy fun times, whee, what else would be fun part of the story. So in theory it should be much easier to write now because there'll be fewer hang on a second, do I know this, no I'll have to look it up later moments. And I'm getting into the part where a thing, spoilers, oh my god, gets easier as well. So that should make things easier. And And I feel like there's been a couple of things where it's like I could take this option or I could take that option, and neither is wrong, but I'm sure one of them is better than the other. A couple of those moments also now behind me, so I should be able to continue writing forward more smoothly, perhaps, maybe, kind of, possibly. So we are very cautiously optimistic, despite being 5,000 words behind the ideal schedule for 70,000 words in 7 days. I think the perspective character, which has previously been in some ways easier and shorter, but also in some ways more difficult to write, is shifting. So I think for reasons, not arbitrarily, so that may also make life easier going forward. But anyway, I'm gonna go watch some people's videos. It is 8 p.m. I have just written for another 45 minutes and I'm at 24,314 words. I definitely have more to write today, but I want to stop filming in time to actually edit it and not be up forever. So what I'm going to do is stop, edit this footage, and then while it's doing its incredibly painfully long and slow uploading processing thing, I'll write a little bit more, which should get me past my 25,000 word mark, which is my new goal for today. I only have a few, 700 to go, so that's doable. I am finding I'm up to chapter 13. I thought this was completely planned out, but I'm looking at this and just thinking, this is just like a list of potential things that could happen. This is not an actual description of what should happen. Was that a spoiler? That might have been a massive spoiler. Well, I just won't leave that in. So I am coming towards the end of day 3 of Nano, and I will by the end of the evening be at 25,000 words. So theoretically, even though my word count has declined rapidly over the last 3 days, I should be able to hit my 50k this week, in theory. I'm in no way, shape or form going to force the issue though, because this is meant to be happy fun time writing a book, not like horrifying torture, oh my god I wish I was dead writing a book. If I go into my NaNoWriMo stats, I've written 6,349 words so far today, which is 555% of the words that I needed to in order to write 50k in 30 days. And it is currently saying on average I write 8,104 words per day, which is reflecting quite a significant drop off from the initial 10,000. That's fine. And it says at this rate you'll be done on November 6th, which is still fine because I have until, I believe, I go back to work on the 10th, so I have a week. So I do think I've been a little bit slower, partly because of a slight shift in how well planned the scenes are today. Once again, oh my god, I should plan. I should plan. Who knew I should plan? Not I. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna start filming so I can start editing, so I can start uploading, so I can start writing again and hit my 25,000 before 1 AM or whenever. That's it for today. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you want to see what I'm up to tomorrow, hit notifications, and I'll see you then. Bye. Also, touch my face. Can't stop touching the face.